If you're thinking about leaving your partner, it can be really difficult to know for sure what's going to be the right decision and what you should do. In this video, we're going to help you understand why it can be so hard to decide and give you the questions you need to ask yourself to find the best solution for you. Before we get into that though, I just want to give you a heads up about some of the awesome new content we have coming out. If you're struggling with any part of your relationship, from trying to work out whether the cute guy you likes you back, to wondering why your partner won't open up emotionally, or even thinking about how to end a relationship that isn't working for you, like in this video, we're going to be giving you the answers. I don't want you to miss any of this important advice. So hit subscribe now to make sure that you get to see our new content as soon as it's available. So back to our list of things that you should ask yourself if you're thinking about leaving your partner. If you're considering ending your relationship, you probably have a ton of questions that you really want the answers to. The bad news is that I can't actually give you any answers. The only person who can make those decisions, unfortunately, is you. What I can do is help talk you through the questions you need to ask yourself and how you can work out the answers for yourself. So the main topics you're probably thinking about when you're considering leaving your partner are, first of all, how do I decide whether I should stay or leave? And as part of that, do I need an excuse to end it? And am I giving up too easily, or can he change? Secondly, if you do leave, how can you do it? And can you still stay friends, or is he going to hate you? And thirdly, how can you look after yourself? So let's look at these big questions one at a time and see what's going on and what you need to know. So firstly, is it time to leave? The only person who can know whether your relationship is making you happy or not is you. Having said that, there are some helpful questions that you can ask to guide your thinking. First is, are there any red flags? I made a whole video on red flags you should never ignore in a guy, which goes into this in a lot more detail. So if you're not sure whether you're seeing red flags in your relationship, you should definitely make sure you check that one out later. In the meantime, let's look at just some of the biggest red flags that should definitely have you running for cover. If he is ever violent towards you, throw things at you, breaks your things, or makes you feel physically scared, that's absolutely, without doubt, plenty of reason to walk away from a relationship. You do not need to give him any chances to change. Now, I know that sounds easy for me to say sitting here. It's much, much harder when you care about someone and they're promising you that it'll never happen again, or telling you that you're the only one who can save them from themselves. I know. Leaving someone who is aggressive or violent is not abandoning them. It's setting essential boundaries that are there to keep you safe. If he promises to change and go into therapy, that's great. It really is. We can all hope he succeeds, and you can even cheerlead for him from the sidelines, but he will need to do it without being in a relationship with you. You are not responsible for fixing him. Now, there are plenty of other red flags. He might gaslight you, where he makes you doubt yourself and even question your own sanity. He might isolate you from the people who love you and take away the people you could turn to for help and support. He might try to control you or belittle you or make you feel bad about yourself. The point of a red flag is that it's a clear stop sign to yourself. Kind of why we call them red flags. If you see even one, you know deep down that it's probably time to end your relationship. You don't need anyone's permission to end a relationship. You really don't. But if it helps, you have my full support and backing to leave any relationship with a guy who is showing any red flags. So your red flags are signs that a relationship is actually harmful for you. It's a warning sign. That's not the only reason you might want to leave a relationship. The next question is, does it meet your needs? You don't need to stay in a relationship that isn't meeting your needs. Something doesn't have to be seriously wrong for you to realize this just isn't going to be a relationship that's going to make you happy in the long term. It's completely okay to put your own feelings and needs first. Honestly, you're probably the only person who's going to do that consistently for the rest of your life. How do you know whether your relationship is meeting your needs or not? Try asking yourself these questions. Am I happier with this person in my life? Does this person inspire me to be a better version of myself? Do I want to turn to this person for comfort or support when I'm upset? Do I trust, respect, and love this person? Do I want to share my joy with this person? If the answer to those questions is yes, then you're probably getting many of your needs met by your relationship. If not, there might be important things that you need in your life that you're not getting from your relationship. So the next question is, how do I leave? Leaving a relationship that isn't working isn't always easy, especially if you still care about the person you're trying to break up with. You don't want to hurt their feelings, but it's important that you're clear about how you feel. Starting the conversation about needing to break up is really difficult. You'll probably feel guilty and stressed. Honestly, you'll probably feel dramatically better as soon as you've had the conversation. It's going to be really important that you use your I statements when you're ending a relationship. I statements let you communicate your feelings without blaming the other person for what's going on or how you're feeling. Practice saying things like, I feel, or I need. When you're ending a relationship, it can be really helpful to talk about the things that you need from a partner that you're not getting. Now, this is going to be especially important if you want to stay friends with your ex. This won't always be possible. It's probably not a good idea if you're breaking up with someone because of their red flags, but being honest, open, and compassionate can help you stay friends in the long run. Now, I know lots of people don't think that you can stay friends with your ex, but I promise you can. I have a lovely ex-boyfriend who is definitely my absolute best friend. He's a superstar, and loads of people ask how we've managed to stay such good friends. But it's really not that difficult. When the relationship ended, we both still remembered all of the reasons we loved each other in the first place. He's still the great guy he was when we were dating. That hasn't changed. So why wouldn't I still like him as a person just because we're not together anymore? Anyway, finally, we're going to talk about how you can look after yourself. Now, if you're ending a relationship, you might be more worried about how your ex is going to cope than looking after yourself. Don't let your guilt over ending a relationship mean that you ignore your needs for self-care. Try to arrange spending time with close friends or people who care about you straight after you've had the breakup conversation. Being around people who understand that you've just done something that's emotionally difficult can be comforting and reassuring, and you're entitled to that support. If you're breaking up with someone because of the red flags in your relationship or because they're abusive or toxic, your self-care is going to be even more important. In this case, you might want to consider ending the relationship by message or over email, especially if you think that you might be physically at risk. If that's the case, they may also try to guilt trip you into staying in the relationship or gaslight you into believing their behavior wasn't actually unreasonable at all. This can be really hard to resist. So consider writing down a list of reasons why you're dumping them to help you remember and stay firm in your convictions. Seeing the end of a relationship coming is a horrible place to be, but you can get through it. If these tips helped you understand your situation better, what do you do to look after yourself when you've just had a breakup? Let me know in the comments down below. And as always, please do like and subscribe. That's all for today on what to ask yourself if you're considering ending your relationship, but I'll see you next time.